Hey all you well-protected folks out there, this is Jolan from Sophos Support, and today we're talking about remediating active ransomware in Windows environments. Ransomware attacks are tough, because generally the only way to recover your files is through backups. While paying the ransom may get your files decrypted, it's a risk we can't advise as there's no guarantee they'll help you recover your data, or that you won't be targeted again later. In this video we're going to talk about identifying what happened, best practices to avoid ransomware attacks in the future, and restoring your files. Keep in mind that the longer the machines are online, the more files may get encrypted if the ransomware is still active. So if possible, shut down or reboot the affected machines as soon as possible. Investigating any form of malware outbreak can be a difficult task and requires technical knowledge of operating systems and malware behavior. If you need assistance, you can engage the Sophos MTR Rapid Response team to assist with active outbreak situations. Rapid Response is a paid service offered by Sophos to provide customers with professional remote threat response from trained malware experts. They deal with outbreaks regularly and can remotely assist in mitigating your attack and provide feedback on how to prevent attacks from happening in the future. Contact Sophos Support or your account manager to find out more about Sophos MTR and Rapid Response. The first thing you need to do in an active outbreak situation is identify what happened. This means we need to know the scope and type of ransomware attack and the user account that was compromised to initiate the attack. To identify the scope, you'll need to find the following. The computer is infected? Are they just endpoints, servers, or both? Are users still able to log in, or are they stuck at the boot or login screen? If the ransomware has encrypted Windows files, this can damage the operating system and prevent login. The ransom note? The types of files that are being targeted? Is it all files or files in a specific folder or share? Is it just document files or are there no specific file types? The encrypted file extension, this can give us information on what type of ransomware is in play. The date modified times for the encrypted files, this can give an idea of when the attack started. And you'll need to know if restarting affected machines stops the encryption. Some ransomware is persistent and will launch after reboot, but a lot of ransomware only runs in memory, so restarting the machine may kill the processes. You can submit an encrypted file or the ransom note to id-ransomware.malwarehunterteam.com to find out the author and the strain of the ransomware. If you're taking this on yourself, you can then research that strain of ransomware to find out more about behavior and typical patterns. Keep in mind this is a third-party tool and Sophos Support can't offer any assistance with issues specifically regarding that site. Next, you need to figure out what account was compromised to be used to encrypt the files. To do this, you'll need to check the owner of the encrypted files. In Windows Explorer, just go to a folder with encrypted files, switch to the details view, which gives you different columns of information about the files. Right-click the column header and select More. Scroll down and select Owner from the list and click OK. You'll want to check this on multiple files and folders to confirm. The owner of the encrypted files shows that this user account was actually used to run the encryption process. We advise, if possible, to check any suspicious emails or suspicious browsing history for this account. Ransomware commonly comes in the form of spam emails containing malicious executables or scripts, which either executes the encryption or calls home to a server to download the actual payload. Users clicking on things they shouldn't is a huge part of ransomware attacks, so training users after remediation is a critical part of preventing these attacks in the future. Once you've found the owner, one thing you can do is restrict that user from access to the network, or perhaps remove write and modify privileges on shares to help mitigate the attack. Knowing the compromised user can also help you figure out the scope of the attack based on what shares and networks that user has access to. When you do find the point at which the attack occurred, in the restoration phase, you can then restore the system backups from before that point. Most ransomware attacks are sophisticated and will actually delete the file doing the encrypting once the attack is actually complete. So searching for the actual encrypting process or file tends to be ineffective. If you do want to manually search for the root cause, we'll link some useful tools you can use in the video description. The issue with these tools is based on what the ransomware is encrypting, it may hinder their performance. Any suspicious emails and files you do find, you'll want to zip them up and send them to Sophos Labs for analysis. The article on how to submit files to us is available in the video description. The next thing you'll need to do is ensure you're following best practices around ransomware prevention. We've put together a great article highlighting the key features you need to have enabled on all Sophos products. The link for that again is available in the video description. Ransomware and general malware prevention needs to be handled in a multi-layer approach. Intercept X Advanced with EDR is great for preventing malware once it gets to an endpoint, but preventing malware from even getting that far through firewalls, email filtering, etc. is even better. In terms of InterceptX, be sure to have it fully installed on all machines with no error messages or warnings, and have all policies in Sophos Central set to recommended settings. If you're having issues with InterceptX installs, contact your account manager or Sophos support for assistance. Part of the multi-layered approach I mentioned is ensuring you close any unnecessary public-facing ports on your network. Two very important ports being 3389 for RDP and port 445 for SMB. These ports have commonly been exploited by malicious actors and should be closed if not needed. If RDP is needed, we do recommend only granting access to users connecting via your VPN. We also recommend you follow Microsoft's guidance on RDP via the link in the video description. You can also use third-party services like Shodan.io or Census.io to find out what public-facing ports are open on your network. Keep in mind again that these are third-party tools and Sophos support can't offer assistance directly with those sites. In terms of patching, regular Windows patching is an essential part of operating system security, so make sure all machines are up to date with Windows updates. You should also upgrade any operating systems that are no longer supported, as these operating systems have security vulnerabilities that don't have any patches available. They're also not supported by Sophos products, so make sure to check out our full system requirements documentation from the link in the video description. As I mentioned earlier, restoring files from backups is the only sure way to recover your files after a ransomware attack. The catch here is that after you finish restoration, you essentially have wiped any evidence of how the attack was performed. So if you're looking for evidence from the attack, it's important to do that before the restoration, while understanding again that the longer the systems are online, the more encryption can occur. Some systems may have been damaged by the encryption if the encryption targeted system files. Those machines will need to be repaired or rebuilt, which should be covered by the OS manufacturer. Once all the affected machines are restored, ensure again all the best practices mentioned earlier are in place. Again, that's having InterceptX fully installed with no errors, closing any public-facing ports that are not needed, patching all devices on the network, and upgrading any unsupported devices. If you need any assistance with products-related issues or have any questions regarding the mentioned documentation in the KB articles, reach out to Sophos support for help. While support can't go in and investigate the attack and find the root cause, we can help with anything specific to the product. We can also connect you with the MTR Rapid Response team I mentioned earlier, who are trained experts on malware remediation. Well, we hope this helped and answered any questions about next steps when you're dealing with an active outbreak. Let us know if you found this video useful by clicking the thumbs up and leaving a comment. All the documentation I mentioned will be listed in the video description below, and if you have any further questions, search and post questions at community.sophos.com and watch more videos like this at techvids.sophos.com. That's it for me today, folks. As always, stay safe out there.